power, and people have proven the power of people is more powerful than the parliamentary members' powers and the leaders' powers. So people have proven that, but still, these people have no feelings for the innocent people in the country. These people have no feelings, and these people doesn't have any of like soft corner for all these people who is struggling on the roads, all these people who is dying on the roads without food, without fuel, without with like it's like we are in a big inflation. So for all these things, we need a better solution. We don't need leaders who will support the corruptions, and we don't need who is safeguarding the corrupted leaders. And we know this Prime Minister has become the president now. We know he will safeguard all the corrupted leaders and he will support corruption.
Do you expect any violence on it?
President Ranil Wickremesinghe stated that the nation must pay tribute to the members of the military who safeguarded the democracy by protecting the legislature from violent protesters who sought to suppress the executive. The president made these remarks addressing the military personnel during his first official visit to the army headquarters complex Akureguda in Pelawata, Baramulla on the 9th of August. The president further said, if at that time violent groups entered the parliament and disrupted the legislature, the country would have lost its government, thereby plunging the nation into complete disorder. Attaching more importance to the day's itinerary, the president, in an appreciative move, did not forget to meet a representative gathering of army troops who performed their duties on that fateful day a few weeks ago when a violent mob tried hard to take control of the parliamentary complex, which is considered as the pinnacle of the democracy and the sovereignty of Sri Lanka. Army soldiers on duty while trying to prevent their entry sustained injuries, and some of them had to be admitted to hospital for urgent treatment. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, addressing the gathering after a welcome note, appreciated their timely intervention at the expense of their own lives and gave away certificates of appreciation to those heroic troops of the army, where he stated, your actions that day preserve the constitution, democracy and sovereignty of the country.
I am heartened by the whole move is this. Two things happening in Sri Lanka, in the history of Sri Lanka. People are empowered, they are fearless.
Yes.
And the second thing is they are united.
United.
Those are the two fundamental things required in this country to change this course. And it's happening now. So we have to nurture that.
You know, we have all the different people here.
Sure.
Tamil, Sinhala, Muslims. Everybody has to come together as one voice, I think.
I think that's happening. And I think a lot of people working at the background. And I think you will find that all the problems we have, we will struggle through and come through as a successful nation.
Yes.
And I'm sure everybody can help towards that. And I hate to see those people from abroad A lot of people still don't understand what's happening in this location.
Well, I think often the mainstream media is not showing the truth of what's going on here. They will focus very much on the shooting a few days ago, and they should be...
That buys some power, you know.
Yes.
Media look at the values.
And we should be focusing on the peaceful togetherness, the united, as you say, of
Absolutely.
the people here.
I think there's future here because it's led by the youth, not by my generation. Because in this very place, year before I was born, my father was here protesting for their rights from North. My generation failed, and the people before me failed. Now the youth have taken it in their hand, they want to put things right, and I'm glad they do it, and I'm sure they will succeed.
We hope so. May I just ask one question? I've asked a lot of people, should tourists be coming now to Sri Lanka at this time?
I think so, because I think the country is conducting itself very well. The powers at the moment are doing the actions with
Ranil Wickremesinghe making an effort to resolve the crisis, said Maithripala Sirisena. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party SLFP will support anyone who is committed to resolving the crisis which Sri Lanka is facing today, its chairman, former President Maithripala Sirisena said yesterday. People of this country are affected by high prices of essential goods and services. Therefore, these issues have to be resolved. We in the SLFP are ready to support anyone or any government which is committed to resolving the current crisis. The incumbent president seems to be making an effort to resolve this crisis. Therefore, we have decided to back him. However, we will not accept any ministerial portfolios, he said. Aragalaya will drag Sri Lanka into chaos and anarchy, said Viravansa. Speaking at an emergency debate in the parliament, MP Vimal Viravansa boldly accused certain factions of the Aragalaya, which successfully ousted the 7th executive president of Sri Lanka, is now operating with the sole objective of dragging Sri Lanka into chaos and anarchy. He further claimed that foreign governments had funded these factions in Aragalaya through numerous projects. Initially, the Aragalaya was focused on Go Home. That movement was a success, so how can there be an Aragalaya now? Go Home has happened, but there are some factions continuing the Aragalaya that want to see the state destroyed. I clearly elaborated in the parliamentary speech that certain foreign organizations are funding certain YouTubers and lawyers with vested interests to carry on the projects of destroying the state and leading the country to a state of anarchy. There isn't a political argument in this Aragalaya anymore. If the strugglers continue to struggle to evict everyone that comes to power, we will not be able to do anything. A state will not remain if we move in this manner. It is a grave situation. Colombo News First. Human Rights Watch is requesting Sri Lanka to resume participation in the Stolen Asset Recovery STAR initiative, a World Bank and United Nations partnership to support international efforts to end safe havens for corrupt funds and commit doing so as part of an agreement with the IMF. Sri Lanka's new president, Ranil Wickremesinghe, should ensure that his administration adopts measures to protect the basic rights of all Sri Lankans, Human Rights Watch said in a letter published today outlining key human rights. Resume Sri Lanka's participation in the Stolen Asset Recovery Initiative, a World Bank and United Nations partnership to support international efforts to end safe havens for corrupt funds and commit doing so as part of an agreement with the IMF and conduct independent and impartial investigations into allegations of serious human rights abuses and high-level corruption and appropriately prosecute those responsible.
We do not have a government fit for purpose. How do we call a government which is not legitimate, which is not respected by the people, which is not reflective of the will of the people, as a government fit for the purpose?
You say that we do not have a legitimate government, but matters have gone to court and so on, and they have ruled that there is nothing wrong because the parliament was elected by the people, and in these special circumstances where we have one president who quite literally ran away or abandoned the post because of whatever reason. The fact is that Parliament, under the rules, and it's been upheld that this is correct, under the terms of what is envisaged in the Constitution, they appointed somebody to take that person's place. So there is legitimacy.
It is an absolute shame, I should say, that even members of the so-called intelligentsia sometimes tell that we have a government that is constitutionally acceptable. We have a lawful government, but we are concerned about the spirit of democracy. A government that is respected by the people, reflective of the will of the people.
So
Dr. Mahim Mendes is talking about a government respected by the people. People in Sri Lanka today desperately need the essentials to survive and will respect any government that will help them to achieve that end. Ranil Wickremesinghe is taking every effort to achieve that. That is my feeling. Hope this video presentation was useful. Stay safe and goodbye until we meet again.